Greetings everyone, and thanks for joining us on this paranormal pit stop. Tonight, we'll be exploring a former national financial institution turned museum and place of learning that's located right off of South 3rd Street out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whose structure stands today as part of the Independence National Park, and its establishment at the time of its opening boasted the titles of being both the largest financial institution and largest corporation of any type in the whole of the country, officially recognized as the President's, Directors, and Company Bank of the U.S., and shrouded in countless stories of resident paranormal activity and ghostly manifestations. Are you prepared to brave the history and hauntings of the first bank of the United States? Historically, in 1791, the Bank of the U.S. was first constructed as part of one of three major financial innovations proposed and supported under First Secretary of Treasury Alexander Hamilton, with Hamilton's goals behind his trio of measures entailing having the federal government assume Revolutionary War debts held by states, and subsequently paying off said debts, raising increased funding for a new government, and establishing both a national bank and common currency. On February 25th of 1791, and after cross-referencing the Constitution to make sure Hamilton's proposal fit within its parameters, President George Washington himself would sign into law his bank bill, under which the first bank would go on to act as the federal government's fiscal agent, tax collector, loan officer, fund holder, and overall financial entity at the time. Unfortunately for the bank, in 1811 the U.S. Senate would tie on a vote to renew its charter, and Vice President George Clinton would actually break this tie by voting against the renewal, resulting in the bank's charter expiring shortly after. Following the bank's closure, in 1811, the bank building and a majority of its stocks were purchased under one Stephen Girard, and following his death in 1831, the institution would re-establish itself as Girard Bank in his honor. Through the early 1930s, Girard Bank would move out of the first bank building, after which the property was acquired by the city and would serve a range of purposes until 1956, when it was listed as part of the Independence National Park. Until circa the year 2000, the site would host offices for the park expanse, and in 2018, it was decided the first bank of the U.S. would be fully restored and transformed into a museum dedicated to the preservation of histories involving the forming of our country's very economy. In the present, this weathered bank site remains under construction and is currently closed to the public as teams work tirelessly to bring the premises up to modern code, and while the date of its reopening is, at the time, uncertain, the structure's exterior continues to act as a popular stop for both photography and for events. Chillingly, through its formidable lifespan, local legends claiming the first bank of the United States as haunted by literally countless spirits tied to its past are all but common, and while very few people today have had the honor of being able to actually get inside, those who have reported a range of terrifying supernatural activity said to get so intense at times that it's pretty widely accepted that a former owner of the building even had to have a priest bless or exorcise it to no avail. Those who have been lucky enough to catch a glimpse of this ancient treasury site have reported extreme cold spots and random temperature fluctuations, the constant feelings of being watched, of being followed, or of being surrounded by presences unseen, instances of doors that open and close inexplicably by themselves, and objects or personal effects spied moving around on their own. One popular local fable intertwines with actual history to tell of how Alexander Hamilton participated in an affair with Maria Reynolds, and of how, when her husband found out, he blackmailed Hamilton for piles of cash as a fee to retain his public honor. But karma is, well, karma, and after years of being bled dry, resulting in his family fortune dwindling, in 1797, Hamilton would come forward and admit to his affair, heavily damaging his reputation beyond repair. To add insult to injury, when Hamilton was eventually killed in a duel between himself and then Vice President Aaron Burr, he would leave his wife Eliza penniless and raising 7 children on her own, and it's now told that his spirit is bound to the earth over the guilt he harbored over the closing act that was his life. Many tell the ghost of Hamilton continues to wander and pace the vacant old halls of the bank, forever and rather futilely attempting to change events that are already long since past. Several informal investigations of the first bank have yielded high EMF levels, chilling EVPs, and strange forms and orbs in the backgrounds of photography and video, while others have reported abnormal battery death rates and other malfunctions in well-maintained electronics, and spectral faces that materialize in windows, mirrors, and other reflective surfaces. A final bank tale pertaining to actual history tells of the aforementioned former bank owner Stephen Girard. Sadly, through December of 1830, Girard was run over by a horse and buggy. And though he survived the initial accident, he would be far from the same person through the following months, and would end up dying just a year later, likely from resulting traumas. Shortly after his passing, Gerard's employees would begin documenting encounters with his spirit, who they felt was friendly and who seemed to be keeping an eye over the business and staff that he so loved in life. To date, sightings of a manifestation bearing a likeness to Gerard persist, and some tell the old banker's presence may be the only thing that's kept the property safe for so long. Thanks for tuning in for this Paranormal Pit Stop. If you enjoyed hearing our histories and ghost stories, subscribe to our channel, like this upload, and share us with anyone you feel could use a good scare. We'll catch you all next time.